Bap bam, zippity bap boo. Everybody, welcome back to Karandrin Roleplay. My name is Kevin Beta Pennings, also known as Cracked Palantir, and I'll be your host and game master for this episode 147 of Brise's Tale. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play the beautiful and talented paladin Brise. Max, say hello to the lovely people.
Hey everybody, we're having a wonderful mid-November. Welcome to our stream.
We had sort of a low energy one. Last episode.
Let's be honest, Kevin. They're all pretty low energy. I'm just kidding.
As the caption reads, we know that you've a couple of sessions ago you were attacked by creatures that dealt damage to your soul. They really attacked you in a very direct and personal way, and really almost took you to a very dark and final place. But so tell us where you are now and what's going on, and then we'll get to it.
Yeah. So last session we did what we could in the city of Pesadarius to help mend my condition. We had a ritual cast on me by two powerful members of the clergy, and this will hopefully make it easier to essentially what we discovered is that this condition is not really a curse of any sort. It's just my own spirit now is kind of imbalanced, and being this ritual hopefully catch those imbalances, and I can be more aware of them and make it easier to get my mojo back. I guess. we don't have good words to describe all of these.
Feel like yourself, and
exactly. Yeah.
Literally lift your spirits.
Yeah. Right. So then we ended up leaving. So we need to be back at the keep by July 3rd is the date that I kind of signed to my castellan at the keep. Told them I'd be back by then. So it's the 2nd. So I decided to teleport back. And we use the Valley of the Trinidas as a waypoint, this kind of overgrown valley in the wilderness of the Vetch. The waypoint between Balabri, where Miguel's keep is, the city of Convergence, and the city of Pesadarius. It's kind of somewhere in the middle of all three of those. So we had teleported there, and I spoke with the Trinidas, the Fey creatures who are kind of an ally of mine, and we decided to rest in the valley for a time. And got some updates from them on what's happening in the Vetch. A whole lot of other side plots going on. Minor evil characters or major evil characters, just not major enough to warrant me risking my life for.
Right, direct confrontation or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's unlike sort of other role-playing games where you might just directly confront powerful characters, there's such a wide level of broader range of power levels in Rolemaster traditionally that it's not always possible. I mean, you have to be an extremely high-level character to really go and confront these guys head on.
Yeah.
And especially sort of in the sort of Tolkien-esque way that I like to build a world. You have these sort of long-standing villainous individuals who they build up bases of operation, they build up henchmen, and they build up really large-scale operations that
powerful jewelry.
So one of these in the Vetch is Chelbrick, who is made a deal with the undead living in the Vetch, and that's one that we're just not ready to confront yet, but we're still keeping an eye on their operations and what the Philistine are doing and so on. And so But the Trinidas are the Fae are helping us, helping Brise keep an eye on what's going on in the vetch with the Philistine, and so there's sort of this. It's more tangential than you might find other role-playing games to be, where they just go and confront the necromancer, and that's that.
I mean, I wish I could, but Brise would get annihilated.
Yeah,
an army of undead. So
yes, it's yeah. I don't really, I really don't have much use for those kind of games where it's just like the assumption is you can go up against these level of characters and you can, I don't think you can get close to them, honestly. Not until you really have your ducks in a row and you've really got a plan that's can outdo the villain's years of preparation.
right.
So right now, as you said, you're resting with the Trinidas there in the vetch. They have encouraged you to stay because they believe that rest in their valley will help mend your spirits. And as you've got a little time before you need to head off to Lady Miagraw's keep, there you are. So is there something in conversation or in your leisure time you want to accomplish while you're resting there with the with the Trinidas? I keep making
it's not the Philistine.
I know.
I keep like, oh, what? I attack.
That's right.
I'm looking at the right notes now to see. I had some questions. Researching the Great Sky Rings. We already spoke the Philistine. Oops. I might just ask him about my condition. Get another opinion, a second opinion. They brought it up before that. They felt like I was touched by something dark. And I mentioned that I'm having trouble staying fully present or aware of my actions. And I find myself sometimes my mind takes control without me realizing it, and I do shameful things. I don't know if that's just something you've heard of or something you have advice for dealing with.
They simply tell you that you're not aware of it only because it seems natural to you, just as you're not aware of when you eat a meal. You're not aware of every detail of the meal because it's just something you do naturally. This is the other side of your nature asserting itself now that parts of your nature have been taken away. They ask, you certainly in these moments you feel colder toward your fellow man, and you're like, yeah, I sure do. I feel suspicious toward them. I want to avoid them.
Who did you vote for?
Exactly. So you're not aware of them because they seem unremarkable to you. The actions seem unremarkable.
Right.
They seem just perfectly natural for you to be pursuing. And so
feels unremarkable. Right. So just trying to be more aware and more cognizant.
Right.
I mean, I could just basically put although who knows, because I was thinking I could put like a magic circle or watchful strength on the outside of my room, right? And when I leave, but I'll probably just acknowledge that I'm leaving and continue on. It won't stop me. Yeah.
Right. You see what Quinn said in the chat.
That's something every man has to deal with. An alter ego taking over and making questionable decisions constantly.
It's like fighting for your diet, or you know what I mean. It's although you sort of feel guilt over it. So this is a little more profound of a change than that. But yeah, it's the other side of yourself being allowed to stretch its wings.
Mm.
So
Okay. Yeah, nothing else I really wanted to ask the Trinitas specifically. I do want to try to store a spell in my Sorcerer's Spear.
Okay.
As a 10-point spell store. I'll pull out my Nature's Tome and try to cast Call Lightning into the spear.
Okay.
We'll just charge it up.
Yeah.
Obviously, take my time with that casting.
All right. Give me just a minute. All right. Roll it up.
And 78.
All right. No problem. So you now have a 10th level Call Lightning stored in the Sorcerer's Spear. And that can be released as long as you roll above a 1.
Don't tempt me.
It will counts as a full action, but would be just like using an item that has a spell on it.
Clean that up, mark that. Yeah, and then we'll just walk around, the Trinidas's Valley, just experience the outdoors, right?
Sure.
Be with my own thoughts for a while. Hopefully not kill anybody.
That's right.
Again.
Right. You wake up and you've just skewered these little deer on your spear like a kebab. You're like, man, this has got to be bad. Delicious, but bad. It's not venison. It's venison.
I just go to Fraldrum at the keep. It's like, so the problem with the Philistine, right? We now have 2 problems. There are 2 unearthly beings who are a threat in the valley. Also allied with the Philistine. Oh boy.
Quinn asked if you're sure, as you're alone with your thoughts, if they're your thoughts or if they're your alter ego's thoughts.
Getting too deep.
Well, an early evening, Trinidas inform you that it seems like one group of Philistine have been dispatched on some sort of mission from the construction of their fortification. The larger group of several dozen moving at no great hurry. But they take many of the human slaves with them. And they've constructed drays and carts to haul material back. So they may be on their way to a ruin.
Yeah.
To gather items of power.
Okay.
Mini venison sliders.
Yeah, I tell them if the Trinitas, if they could follow the Philistine and describe what items they remove from the ruin, and if they have any power about them.
The matter is already in hand, in hoof, if you would. Interestingly, the human slaves that were taken from the settlements well, now undead slaves, um, made undead by the attacks on the human settlements. They seem to be more sensitive to the presence of the Fae than do the Philistine.
Hmm.
They have
Interesting.
come nearer to being caught by the human slaves than they have by the Philistine scouts and patrols.
The human slaves are undead, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Come full dark. Um, Word reaches the Philistine that indeed the envoy of the Philistine has reached a small ruin, and they have begun searching it, throwing open doors.
Mm.
Um, the items that have been taken so far seem to be items of art, decorative items,
Hmm.
almost like some effort to reclaim their culture.
Right.
Um, and then it's time for bed.
Okay. I asked them if they could wake me at dawn if I'm not awake by then.
They will, and they tell you that you will not be allowed to wander. Sorry, um, because it's simply too dangerous with Philistine patrols out. They
Hmm.
don't come particularly close to this valley, but 2 valleys over, there are aerial
Right.
patrols.
They just fly, and they have great, like they can see pretty far too.
Yeah, and they're very sensitive to magic and so
Hmm.
on. And here a thought occurs to you that is an indication of um, your struggle with your attitudes. And that is, worst case, surely you could make a deal with the Philistine.
Um, a deal. What kind of deal for
If,
them to stop?
if need be, if it comes down to your safety, surely you could make a deal with the Philistine. Whereas you would never have entertained that thought before. That thought just pops in your head and
Oh,
it sort of alarms you, you know.
interesting. Yeah, I'd be willing to bargain with these creatures. Yeah,
Right.
for my life.
Like revealing the location of the Trinidas's Valley as an example.
Hmm.
So it's kind of interesting, like what you do actually know that could be of value to,
Right.
if you,
It's evil characters don't. It's not that good characters have evil thoughts. It's that they act on them and they like. Oh yeah, I will use this as a bargaining chip.
right.
I'm like, huh.
Quinn provides an alternative dark thought, which is that Aldrich, your boyfriend, would be less argumentative if you just cut out his tongue.
Now
Has
that's
some
a
merit.
great idea.
That's got some merit. Let's give that a thought.
Let's entertain that one.
Um, All right. So to bed you go.
Okay. 3 rolls coming up.
Yeah.
27, 30, and 59.
You wake at dawn without assistance. The Trinidas have provided you a breakfast of honey, nuts, and berries spread upon
And venison.
venison sausage. And as you eat, they tell you that um, dozens of weapons have been recovered from the ruin by the Philistine, as well as a belt of considerable power. All they could tell from the distance that they were able to safely sense as the belt deals with increasing physical strength enormously, as well as increasing one's ability to lead.
Okay.
Half the carts are full, and those have set off to the fortification.
Mm.
They believe that a significant amount of coin was also discovered.
Mm.
You generally feel better in spirit
Okay.
and health. Your exhaustion points are at 75.
I'll take it. They were going down before, so
Yes.
going up now. Yeah, if there's no more business, then I'll take my leave, the Trinidas, and teleport to the keep. Thank them for their hospitality.
They do urge you to stay at least another day. The valley has clearly done you good.
I don't know. Brise seems a very loyal person. Seems like I said I'd be back by then, and I should be. If it was like a week, right, or like a certain time frame, but it was a specific date. So
Right.
so I tell them I may return to seek rest in your valley again. It was very beneficial, I feel.
They tell you to mind yourself, that you're still not out of danger. And are you ready to teleport?
I am. So we'll teleport to our spot on the road, down away from the keep. Use my adder boots and concentrate. And it's a 44.
And roll to aim.
21.
Not great, but not bad. They're much further down the road than you'd rather be. But you're in a very concealed location, almost too concealed. It takes some fighting to get out of the brush
All right.
and make it to the road, but at least no one saw you just pop out of, out of nowhere.
Thin air. I like what you were just talking about Lord of the Rings. The whole what happening with the Philistine and the Vetch really reminds me of like the Two Towers, like Isengard, where it's just fascinating, like what is happening, this evil that's gathering there, and this construction that's taking place, and it's kind of like horrifying to see, but also just very very interesting, to see how they build all these fortifications and their plans being laid.
Right. I mean, it's it's it has its own logic to it too that's enjoyable. Like, oh yeah, you just can't have cavalry just ride up and surround his tower, so he builds walls and he builds towers to for archers and so on, and then he builds war works underneath the ground so that he can manufacture weapons and have this belching industry. Tolkien was an agrarian at heart, so
Right.
they sort of regretted the rise of industrialization, and so Saruman was sort of the classic example of that. Which you have these fumes belching from the ground throughout the grounds of Isengard.
I would say with the Trinidassel, before I leave, I'll just tell them I'll at least try to be back in a week for any update on the Philistine, or if there's something urgent, you're also available to find me.
They agree. Road is relatively busy. A lot of comings and goings.
When is the last time I've been at the keep? Was it like 2 weeks ago?
That sounds about right.
It was Fraldrum teleported me to Pessidarius.
But that was from wasn't that?
Convergence.
Yeah, that was from Convergence.
I think so. Yeah, so it's probably been about a week. Week and a half.
Push through to the road. You don't really attract much attention, just kind of wave at people and just join in the flow of traffic. There's a couple of herds headed into the keep, which suggests there's going to be a big meal, or their stocks are low. Loads of vegetables, potatoes, carrots.
Delicious veggies.
Just go and eat them all.
Nom, nom, nom.
Take a bite out of each one. Yeah.
They're all mine. I licked this one. It's mine. Just like a potato covered in dirt.
That's right. All right. You got your familiar, your cat with you.
Right, Azrael. Forgot about
We'll
it.
assume that he was allowed to hunt this morning. Presumably not the Trinidas. That's what he ate.
I actually need to cast Create Bond one more time, because the last casting wasn't very good at all. We kind of didn't do another one. So
You need to do one today, is what you're saying?
no. Well, I mean, we could do it at the Trinidas if that's fine with you.
Yeah, we could do that. Why don't you go
Yes.
and roll that up?
Open up my Familiar's Tome. What is that? Level 6? Level 4 spell. Great Bond. Boom, 74.
All right. You can now use it with the rest of the spells on that book.
Yay.
I should print that one out.
Gain attributes. That's what I'm really excited about.
There's some, there's some interesting ones on there.
Also, Lengthen Bond is really good.
Pass through the gates.
I do have one question about Secret Store.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't we say that that's like removing it from my memory, putting it into the... Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait to use that. Okay, into the keep.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Oh, excuse me. I was thinking about that spell all these years we've been playing with the secret about the demon and so on.
Mm-hmm.
With Kralum and with Verilag and all of that, I was like, man, it'd be so cool if you could store that secret somewhere, and that would be fantastic. I need to get right with Jesus.
And if it was get down with Jesus, absolutely.
Get down with Jesus. Head to your quarters.
Yeah.
At the keep. Go hop to our captions. So now you're at Lady Miagral's keep.
Yeah, I'll turn to my quarters and want to send a note to Athene and to Fraldrum once I'm there.
And Fraldrum, you need to say what to.
Quinn, I said get down with Jesus, not go down on Jesus.
Man, it's an easy mistake to make.
Oh my God. I know Jesus can take a lot of sin. What was I saying? Okay, Fraldrum, I want to announce that I've returned to the keep from Pesidarius for a time, and what I learned about the Philistan, about the continued construction on the wall, and that they've been retrieving weapons and items of power from their ruins.
And Athene's note is going to say,
I've just returned to the keep in case
and you want
services.
And any note to Aldrich.
Yes. Yeah. Let's also just send one to Aldrich saying, I am back and would love to see you to catch up.
And do you want to emphasize making a final decision about the parents and all of that?
Yes. I don't know what decision that would be. Do you mean more of just we should probably have a conversation about it?
Well, yeah, in terms of like how to handle, delaying the meeting and then
right. So the last thing we came up with the possibilities were me kind of lying about my profession, presenting myself more as a landowner or housewife to his parents,
which you rejected.
Right. And then he doesn't want to present to his parents the fact that I'm an adventurer because they're displeased by that. They think it's an ignoble profession.
Right.
So could we roll my feelings on it if they've changed at all in the, couple weeks since we had that argument? I'm not sure if I'm leaning one way or the other. Any of my past experiences.
It occurs to you, why not go the opposite direction and emphasize even now the good you are striving to do as an adventurer. For instance, fighting against the problems in the veg.
Right. Maybe I
You,
can change his parents' perspective on what it means to be an adventurer.
right. So, you don't have to go into great detail other than to say there's a growing evil in the veg, and you are an active part of trying to contain it.
Right.
And while you're far from being able to defeat it,
I am needed. My skills are needed to.
And you're committed
mm-hmm.
to doing what it takes to try to keep people passing through the veg safe.
Okay. We will just relax in my room for the time being.
Probably a good time to bathe and send your clothes out for cleaning and all that kind of stuff. So you
they all smell like deer.
That's right.
Deer musk. I have no idea how that smells, but it can't be good.
Yeah, you have a bath drawn and send your clothes out. You get a message back from Aldrif shortly after you're out of the bath, and he's hopeful that he can do dinner with you tonight, unless your duties won't permit, but he is free. And he does mention talking with the parents and so on, that he's eager to get that resolved.
Mm-hmm. Quinn says we should check for deer ticks. Those are some big ticks on the Trinidad. They're just like back. Ah.
Exactly. It's a full on. It's an even fight.
Yeah, it's a funny thought.
So it's a waiting game. If you're going to wait for messages, what would you like to do?
I do have one thing I do need to check on. So on this was like 2 weeks ago, I went to the Miogral County tax office and requested a homestead exemption. No, I requested that they get information on Holver and Volshad, if there were any property they owned or recent transfers of money. Is that in the keep or is it in town?
I was trying to remember. That was going to be my next question to you because I couldn't recall either.
Yeah. So I just write, oh yeah, okay. Send word to Athene. And I go to the tax office right after that. So it must be in the keep. Yeah.
And they're researching it for you? Is that
right?
They
said they'd have information. I give them 5 gold to give me some information They said they'd have it by tomorrow morning. That was the June 27th. So now it's July 3rd. So they should have something for me.
A note is on your desk when you get in. Neither show any property in the county.
Well, that's a dead end.
But it's known now. Something you've eliminated.
Unless they, I guess they probably wouldn't have that much of an in with Mirgral, right? No, definitely not Volshad.
Oh, I see what you mean. You mean our two necromancers wouldn't, right?
Right. And the way people described Holver, he didn't seem to move in that way. He seemed to just show up when he wanted and take what he wanted.
Right.
So,
he doesn't seem to be very subtle. He's very flashy. He's very direct. And he doesn't care if civilians get hurt. He doesn't care if he scares civilians. A lot of these powerful figures are hands off so as not to attract undue attention. And Holver just does not seem to care.
Right. Okay. All right. So that was that. I did also want to these potion ingredients that I found in the catacombs and go to the potion master in the keep and get those sold.
You might send a servant to do that, freeing you up to remain.
Sure. A servant, I guess, to inform them that I have things to sell.
No, just send them directly on and say, look, this is who I am. And, because the servant's going to say, this is from a guest in this wing.
Right.
Right. You're not going to shortchange this person. You're not going to, because you don't know who you might be offending.
Right. I mean, everyone should know my name here at the keep anyway. So I'm just
right.
In the catacombs. But yeah, otherwise I should be freed up.
So, note returns from potion stores. 30 gold is your payment.
Okay.
There's a note that tells you, obviously they're not certain where you found these, but a good number of them were poisons, poisonous components. And so they can be put to use, around the keep for vermin and things like that.
For vermin.
Exactly.
All those Mirgral hates those vermin.
In the neighboring county, Aldrit and company.
What did I put in these cookies again? Was it butter or rat poison? I can't remember.
Arsenic or lace.
Yeah, we'll just relax in my room. We can read from my book on golems if we feel like reading.
Roll for me.
3.
No good. What else would you like to do?
Hmm. If I feel like being more physical, we could do some spear throwing, do some more practice there. Go to my one guy in the guard who's been helping me practice.
He is available.
Okay.
To go to the armory stores and pull out combat mannequins. What do you pay him?
Silver.
So yeah, you're out there really enjoying the physicality of it,
Yeah.
throwing and throwing and throwing, basically until lunch. So you slip him a silver, you head back. Still no word from anybody. Meals provided for you. Actually, a pleasant soup. You actually found it enjoyable. Heavy, creamy soup. Nap some after your exertions. Is there a spell you would like to cast on Azrael from your?
Ooh. I mean,
One of the are they all
Emotional
fairly
bond
temporary?
is temporary. Secret store. I mean, is there anything on my mind that we would want to keep secret? Because it would be something that I don't need to remember, right? That's the
Right. You would know that you have a secret stored in the animal.
right.
Only a
Here's
very
the thing, I'd be like, "What is that secret again? Hold on," and then I like get it back. I'm like, "Oh crap, of course!" And then I store it back.
oh,
And I'm like,
right,
"What
right.
was that again?"
The player will know, you know.
I mean, actually, what a great um, one might be is I told that remember I revealed the location of Verilag's um, prison,
Listen,
soul prison to Oshekra. That might be a good thing to prevent that happening again, right, with someone else.
so hide its location in Azrael.
Hmm.
It's perfectly doable.
Okay, it's a level 10 spell. I'm going to take my time with that.
This is off of a tome, right?
Yes, this is my familiar's tome. I will cast using my PowerPoints.
Well, you don't use PowerPoints for.
That's what I meant. See, I was testing you on your own game mechanics.
That's it. You have to.
You passed. Roll to cast that.
Yeah.
73.
All right. Very nice.
Now
So
at
that
40,
was 8 exhaustion. That's what that
okay,
cost you. It's a
about
good cast.
43 out of 100 exhaustion.
43 out of 75.
Oh, is it my maximum is capped?
Your max is capped.
Oh, okay. I'll note that down in a different color.
So I think, given that you're trying to recover your spirits, literally trying to lift your spirits, a day of relaxation and rock gardens and that sort of thing, and you
Yeah.
just check in your room every now and then to see if word has reached you, um, back from either Fraudrum or, um,
That sounds good to me. Wish I could do that in real life.
yeah,
Taking time off from work.
yeah,
I'm basically a contractor for Mirgal. It's the closest real world thing.
right.
We need you now, and we'll pay you now, but we don't need you the next day.
So yeah, it's a really lovely day of just taking time for yourself. Um, you As early evening approaches, you make sure you're in your room to catch Aldrich. Still no word from either person.
Hmm.
Um, should put up a thing about Fraudrum. So Aldrich shows up um, at your door.
It's been a while out of game time. A few months, I think.
In game, how long has it been?
Probably about 2 weeks.
It's a very warm reunion. And it develops very quickly into a night of passion. If that 187 is any indication.
All right.
Um,
That's something that'll drive out evil spirits.
that's right. It's like having a stake right through their heart, over and over again.
It definitely does. It does reset you a little bit. Like, woo, wow. Okay.
So that, understandably leads to dinner in,
Mhm.
and he has confections brought in and just a whole bunch of extra little dainty treats and things. And
You
um,
should have.
um, but repeatedly throughout the evening, there are times you catch him looking at you worriedly. And finally, as you're sort of lying in bed, just munching on things, he he's he says, there's something different about you. There's something that's weighing on you.
Yeah, I should be honest with him. Kind of. I think the last interaction we had it was he's growing more accustomed to my adventuring life, even though he's just a tailor who has never encountered any
Right.
sort of monsters or threats. So I just described to him as I was exploring um, um, some catacombs in a distant city in Pesidarius, and encountered a creature. Had a very dark encounter that the best way I could describe it is definitely made me feel different.
Tapped into your darker self.
Exactly, yeah. Brought my darker self to the forefront. And though it's been getting better, it still seems to be something I'm working through.
He says, this is certainly something we can't reveal to my parents. That things of such dark nature are something you might come in contact with as an adventurer.
Let's jump into the parents. I just, before we get into that, I kind of asked, how did you know? What could you tell about me that was so different? You're the...
You were short with the servants.
Mm.
Usually you're very gracious. You treated them somewhat coldly, and me too at first. When I dropped my fork earlier, there was a flash of irritation across your face that I was just unaccustomed to seeing.
Oh.
And times when you drift off, looking into the distance, your face is more careworn and more distant. Just as beautiful, but it's a cold beauty.
Mm.
You're like, you too, and you shove him.
He called me cold beauty. Yeah, I'm gonna try to reply to that. Just because going back to his concern with his parents. What specific things I encounter doesn't need to be of their concern, right? Just that kind of, I bring back what I brought in my note, right? That I'm doing it for a greater good. It's a commitment I have to my temple and to my Lady Mirgral, and to other people, innocent people. Surely they would understand those motivations. I was about to tell Alder for some reason, it's like being a firefighter, you know? I guess there are maybe similar professions, right? Like people who have dangerous jobs, for like a constable, right? Maybe this is a close,
right. It's the closest
constable that wanders into the
runs into the fray.
Yeah.
My parents are very religious, so maybe that is the way to win them over to your way of life. That you see it as serving the will of the gods and risking yourself for the deity's commands.
Mm-hmm. His parents are very religious. I just asked him what are his parents' deities, birth deities.
They are Morenin, goddess of purity, truth, and faithfulness. That's the father. And Haviland, god of nature and forests. So that would put the father as being born in December sometime, and Haviland's month is March.
Happy belated birthday. Started the game in March. Okay.
You think you started the game in March? Man, the mom started life in March.
She's been playing Karandrin forever.
She's still a level 6 Taylor. It's just
Level
terrible.
6. Yeah, I mean, surely we can appeal to your parents' religious side in that way.
So there's a fairly lengthy discussion then, like how to present this
Right.
argument. Like, do you do it by messenger? Do you go there? Um,
I guess Brise would be, you know, be fine with talking to them in person about it too, if I had the opportunity to, because I've had the conversation many times before.
um,
I did see Quinn's comment. It's like you were looking when I dropped the fork. You know, you looked so cross, and then you threatened to cut out my tongue. You're really good. Like, I didn't say that. Okay, maybe you didn't say that, but that's the look you gave me.
exactly. Tongue cutty outy look. It's not cool. That's not cool. So the thought is to maybe invite them here where the surroundings can impress them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so he could send word. Then if that goes well, then we can go forward to both sets of parents coming, meeting.
Man, all this rigmarole. No, it's great, Aldrich. That's a good idea.
It's your cold nature coming through.
I'm like, why just have all the parents, Mrs. Brice's impatience, just have them come here, they meet my parents, they learn about my adventuring life. Easy. No, but yeah. I say that's a great idea. We could have them talk to them one-on-one.
Well, what do you think about taking a break? Since we've got a break in the conversation, and we'll come back and see if we have any word back from um, from Athene and Fraldrum, and we'll keep playing. So,
No.
guys, if you'll just give us a minute, we're going to go stretch our legs and refill our drinks. So just hang with us for a few moments. We'll be right back with you. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Let's get Max back here. There's Max. And we were talking with Aldrich.
We were.
And they had resolved one of the major sticking points in their relationship, which is how to get past Aldrich's parents' resistance and to the fact that Brise is an adventurer, not a very ladylike profession in their eyes. So,
You say we resolved an argument just by talking and strategically planning? That's crazy.
it is crazy.
I didn't have to pull up my spear once.
That's right. Although your new attitude toward people, that may change. So let's not. The night's still young, is what I'm saying. It's
Okay.
so you guys are still in bed and just sort of enjoying each other's company, snacking on what there is to snack on. When there comes a knock at the door, a message is slid under the door.
Come in. Oh, okay.
That's right.
Join us. Oh, we're just like, what? Okay.
The message is from Fraldrum. It welcomes you back, thanks you for the update. And it says that Fraldrum has been putting some thought toward the construction that's going on in the vetch, and that Fraldrum has a risky idea that that might pan out in the long term. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh, goodness. Thank you. But that discussion can wait till tomorrow, and tells you that Athene does have a mission for you.
Okay. One thing I forgot to mention in my note to to Fraldrum, is about what I learned about Holver as well. But we can discuss that tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'll note down. I need to tell her
that. You basically drift off to sleep together. So it is the next day. Let's do your 3 rolls. Unless there's something else you need to do.
Nope.
Okay.
So we got 39, 12, and 4.
Okay. Wake up very early. Aldrich is still asleep. It is before dawn.
Quinn, what could you possibly want a miracle roll? Nothing's happened.
That's right. I think it's going to be pregnancy.
Oh, yeah.
Quinn, you can definitely ask.
Whether we delete your comment, though, is up
or
to
post it.
Discretion.
That's right. So you wake, still dark. You have the fire built up. And as you go to the door to call a servant, there's another note underneath the door. It is from Athene. It requests your presence, and shortly after dawn.
Mm.
And her offices. Uh,
Murdering the shit out of Aldrin. What's the opposite of a miracle? A catastrophe roll.
and
You roll a
catastrophe
one,
roll.
this horrible thing happens.
Um, so you have a bath drawn in the other room,
Mhm.
and the clothes are, cleaned and so on from the day before.
Are there any sparklers or fireworks waiting for me? Any American flags draped?
That's right.
Does Nargos celebrate July the 4th? Do they have a tradition?
But it does, but for only erotic reasons. It's a very
You
it's
don't want to ask, yeah.
July the 69th. It's just really, that's what they call it. It's just really strange.
Man, I tell Athene, I'm like, I can't believe you're making me work on a federal holiday.
That's right.
Ridiculous.
So dress and go. You want to leave a note for Aldrich?
Yeah, I guess he's sleeping
Yep.
in my bed. Yeah, yeah. Leave him a note saying I've gone to. Well, should I wake him up? I forget when his shift starts. Right.
Well, it's not dawn yet, so
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just leave him a note saying that I'm on business. I will catch you later.
well, you just had an appointment in the castle, right? You don't want to suggest that you've gone out.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Good point. I'm still within the keep. I do have to be specific about that.
So go to Athene's office. Guards outside admit you. Fraldrum is there.
Okay.
He comes and sort of gives you a squeeze of the arm warmly. Athene gestures for you to sit.
Oh, really quick. What's my exhaustion?
Oh, 80.
Okay. I sit down.
Athene says that there's a situation that's developed regarding Aldrich that they need your assistance with, even though you're not exactly the best suited for this task because you're so recognizable. We're going to do what we can about that. But essentially, Aldrich has gotten more details about the cult that was discovered here in Lady Meagraw's county. And Aldrich, being a long enemy of Meagraw's, wants to stoke those fires and is apparently trying to start a fake cult here in the county.
Okay. Not again.
So it can then be discovered, of course, and call Lady Meagraw's moral leadership into doubt. So there is a right now. It appears the plan is a convoy of 4 wagons using back roads will make it into the county sometime in the next several days.
Hmm. Kill them all.
And
What?
you are to kill them all. Not really. But it's okay if you kill them all.
Is that literally what Athene says?
Yes.
Wow.
Certainly destroy the wagons themselves. Set light to them. You can cut the animals free. Who cares? Um,
I can never spell Malabry. I ask her, would it make more sense to capture these individuals and then we could turn them on Algrit and publish, make his plan known. I guess that will that really bring him much shame though that he was trying to start a fake cult in
well,
County.
there's the only evidence that it's fake is that we know it's fake.
Right.
That our spies told us that it's fake. But otherwise, it has ritual items and iconography, right, of some unholy creature that you're going to put in a central altar. Prove to me it's fake.
That's fair. It'd be hard to turn that evidence into something we could use.
Now, if we could find a way to catch it in their property in their county,
Right.
possibly. But once the convoy is stopped and burned, Albert will know that his plan is foiled, and he'll just simply have to find some other way of shaming. He'll turn to other plans basically,
Right.
because this one was so thoroughly uncovered. Even if it's not exposed, he knows that we know. The problem, of course, is for you to do anything secretly is your face. And so we're going to have to teach you more carefully how to bind your hair. You're gonna have to travel in disguise. And
I guess, why does my identity need to be hidden for this mission, right? All I'm doing is keeping, I see, I guess, because if they were cult leaders or members coming onto Miagral's property, we don't want people to know that. So it would just look like I stopped a bunch of people in Algrit's, I guess they're not even wearing his colors, right? It would just be, It'd be very suspicious if I was known. So,
well, and you are known to Algrit.
Right.
And so if you are seen,
me as someone he needs to focus on and influence or take care of.
Right. And so if you are seen, you're known as an agent of Miagral, and they will more easily stop you. So you have to go. There are multiple ways they can travel into the county. Obviously, we're putting an agent on each road of the back roads that we know of. So you are one of 4 different agents.
I see.
Taking on this task. Your arts and your specialties means you're going alone. The other one would have 3 people on them each. What's interesting is that someone is someone has volunteered to fund this. Algret's not having to spend a penny. And we're trying to get to the bottom of who that is. But someone, yeah.
Someone who wants to undermine Miagral's authority besides Algret.
Right. So, so Fraudrum has suggested that maybe it is Volshad throwing a wrench into plans, ingratiating herself to Algret.
Right.
But there's no real evidence of it. It was just a suggestion that was thrown out.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if I have any questions. So, staying on the road, do we have what's the timeline of when I need to be posted?
Hopefully this evening we'll have everything ready for you. You're going to go with 2 pack animals loaded with skins, as though you're a trapper. You'll keep your face hidden at all times. Like I said, we're going to teach you to bind your hair up so you look, so your appearance can be hidden. And you're going to travel that road up and down until you come across what we're looking for. Or you catch word from one of our other operatives that it was discovered on their road.
Okay.
You have our permission to use all level of force to protect yourself, to carry out your mission. There's no doubt that they will have been given the same orders.
Okay. 4 wagons will probably have, think about like 2 guards or people per wagon. That's 1 versus 8 potentially.
Well, and that's why you feel free to ambush.
Okay.
We can't commit too many men because they won't be, we can't get them ready in time before this gets gets out and before they leave. We attempted to send them, we'd sent a group of men ahead to see if they could stop them in town. I need to come up with a town name for Albert's town center. I need to come up with one of those for his town.
Algretsburg.
That's it. That'll do. We didn't want to send full marches. The roads can't really support it. They can barely support a wagon of any size. Your pack animals will be fine on there.
Okay.
And so long as you destroy the wagons, flaming arrows, lanterns, whatever means you need, the other men will probably scatter. They may very well be part of what they think is an actual cult. It's just fake, and they'll have some fake leader who will lead them in rituals and so on. In the meantime, we'll be preparing more troops to follow after each trail.
Okay.
As backup. But they'll probably be 24 hours behind you to get enough men with enough food to make it out there, whereas you're ready to go now, barring disguises and so on. So this evening we should be ready to have you hit the road and begin at least making your way up. As long as you camp on the road, then that's great. You'll have a chance of catching them. And it may be 2 or 3 days. You may eventually just get swapped out for soldiers anyway. But that's the situation. And she looks at you for any questions.
No, I think of everything makes sense. Now, I say again, so drive them off or kill them. No prisoners. Sounds like it's not a priority.
We expect they'll mostly run. You'll probably have 3 or 4 that'll want to stay and fight.
Hmm.
But once you drop the first one, we expect at least half will run.
Yeah.
Once you put some fire into a wagon, we expect more will run. And
Right.
you
No,
know,
yeah, I'm just making sure they don't want any kind of don't need to keep any as prisoners.
yeah, I mean, if you catch one, you catch one. That's fine.
Right.
But the destruction of all the evidence of the cult, that has to be accomplished.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Just should note that down. Destroying the evidence is the most important part.
Right. So that there's no evidence of a cult one way or the other headed anywhere.
Hmm. Okay.
They'll tell you they'll send word, and when things are ready, a girl will be sent to you who will help you with your hair and teach you how to put it all the way up in a manner that will make you indistinguishable from a man,
Mm.
as long as you remain with a cowl over you. Frowdrum stands and says he'd walk with you because he wants to talk to you about the situation in the vetch.
Yeah.
And Athene gestures to the door, turns back to her desk.
Okay.
So you guys walk on. As you exit, Frowdrum says, I've been thinking about the Philistine and their plans in the vetch and their structure.
Hmm.
That wall that you say they're building, from your description, it doesn't really sound like a proper, not like a castle wall. It's fairly crudely built with heavy slabs.
Hmm.
My guess is that's a temporary structure.
Mm.
So they either have to have architectural help, a designer, they have to have it in their ranks, or Chelbrick will have to hire someone
Hmm.
to design. Pay through the nose, certainly.
Right. A more permanent structure.
And it may take most of a year to get that built, as well as the interior rooms, depending on how much they're going to build. But in the meantime, that outer wall will be their main defense. If we can find out who they hire, then perhaps they can build us a secret entrance in.
Mm. I like the way you think, Fraldrin. That's a very interesting plan. Okay.
Alternatively, I have some arts in modifying stone. They're building it up against a hill. I might be able to insert, or one of my apprentices might be able to insert a secret passage in.
Hmm.
The problem is the flying patrols of the Philistine.
Right.
That's going to be very difficult to get around for multiple spell castings. But if he's hiring help, that help isn't going to stand around with the undead.
Right.
That seems very unlikely. I doubt he can endure it, whomever the architect is. So he may have to have workers, which it works to our advantage because the workers will have to build in secret this passageway we're hoping that they will build. And that will be out from under the eyes of the Philistine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a thought. Don't waste any energy on it.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have to put my people on it as best they can, but it will provide us a long-term solution, an ace in the hole that we can use when the time comes. So claps you on the shoulder, gives you a little squeeze, and she wishes you luck on your mission.
Okay. I'll tell her the update I have about Holver. So I just tell her I was in Pesidarius. I learned some information about our violet-eyed sorcerer, our other necromantic problem.
And this is the thing about that Holver is probably flaunting the flag. Is that
right? So we know that I just told her that I spoke with adventurers who had dealings with Holver, and that he's known to employ a handful of powerful undead servants rather than armies, right? And that when he's very flamboyant, he tends to make a very go wherever he wants, does whatever he wants without regard for any kind of secrecy or subtlety. He has made enemies of Lord Hestus, so he's likely flying his flag out of spite and to agitate the goblins. And if he's already flying Hestus's banner, we can expect some bold strike from him, possibly soon. Perhaps at Mirgral or at Algrit. That is what I learned.
Do you or do your adventurer friends have any thoughts toward whether Holver would ally himself with Algrit?
He seemed to be, the way they described him, I mean, the fact that he has few undead servants, right? I feel like he would operate alone, but he might be influencing Algrit. I'm not sure they would have an answer for that. All right, because it was adventurers who then met other adventurers who had dealing with Holver, so it's kind of a third degree removed.
Sure, it's sort of hearsay, not direct knowledge. Well, all these things are good to know. He may be too arrogant to try to ally himself with anyone.
Right.
And that is to our advantage. Algrit is a problem enough. Although if the boy would just see sense, all of this would go away. But as always, it's pride that is keeping us from having harmony between the two counties.
How old is Algrit, I ask?
As I recall, he's like...
Because she said the boy, I was like, oh, I assumed he was as old as Mirgral, but...
Oh, no, he's young. He's 22.
Yeah. Wow, okay.
Which is, fully an adult. I mean, it's like a 15-year-old is an adult in this society.
Right.
14, it's what we call what would we call now a P. Diddy adult. That's no, nothing for
All right.
sex trafficking, pedophilia. Anyway,
What a lighthearted topic to bring up.
that's right.
No, I can't. Okay. So yeah, just if I come across any other information on Olvera, I will relay it to you.
And she'll let you know if she has any luck with the other thing. It's a long shot. I mean, you have to be able to listen out for. I mean, how are you going to find who's going to hire?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and how are you going to persuade them, that it's worth their while to risk this? Because this is risky for them too.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it'd be kind of cool, right, to have this sort of hidden way into. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. You should have him build 2 secret entrances in case he discovers one.
That's right. There are 9 secret entrances. It's like nothing but doors on the outside.
Very secret. I guess once you discover one secret entrance, they kind of search for the others, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, I guess you would, but it's like, would you? I don't know. Would you think there would be a second one? I guess you couldn't help but think it. I don't know. That's weird.
I mean, if I was a necromancer, I would torture my architect until he told me where all the secret entrances are.
Once you find that first one, you're in for a penny, in for a pound. You're like, where are they?
It says here in the clause, no secret entrance.
That's right. No takesy backsies. That's right. So, well, what do you think about stopping here since we're sort of in a good conversation? We know that there's something brewing for you next episode.
Yeah. Next episode we can start with this new task.
Yeah. So
town maybe and get some sort through my gear and yeah, we'll do that.
So early morning, July 4th. And we will be back next Wednesday. You don't have any travel plans, do you?
Not next Wednesday.
Okay.
However, the Wednesday after.
Right.
So we'll sync up about that and let y'all know. So
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us for episode 147. We enjoy bringing them to you. Think we're doing a good job. Hey, hop to donorbox.org and send us a little love. You definitely want to go find Max's YouTube channel where he talks about the role of original soundtracks and music in video games. Thanks as always for Elliot Dunovitz's terrific character art we use almost every episode. If you want to see more of their work, please hop to artstation.com/Tortolua. And I've written a novel you can find on Amazon called A Shore Too Far. Take a look at it if you like a fantasy read. And we'll see you next week. Max, say goodbye to these lovely people.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoy the stream. And excited to see what happens next week. Catch you later.
Catch you later, guys.